The field Negro was beaten from morning till night. He lived in a shack, in a hut. He wore cast-off clothes. And he hated his master. I say he hated his master. He was intelligent. That house Negro loved his master. But that field Negro, remember, they were in the majority. And they hated the master. When the house caught on fire, he didn't try and put it out. That field Negro prayed for a wind, for a breeze. When the master got sick, the field Negro prayed that he died. If someone come to the field Negro and said, let's separate, let's run, he didn't say, where are we going? He said, any place is better than here. You got field Negroes in America today. I'm a field Negro. The masses are the field Negroes. When they see this man's house on fire, you don't hear these little Negroes talking about our government is in trouble. They say the government is in trouble. Imagine a Negro, our government. I even heard one say our astronauts. They won't even let him near the plant. And our astronauts. Our Navy, that's a Negro that's out of his mind. That's a Negro that's out of his mind. Just as the slave master in that day used Tom, the house Negro, to keep the field Negroes in check, the same old slave master today has Negroes who are nothing but modern Uncle Toms, 20th century Uncle Toms, to keep you and me in check, keep us under control. Keep us passive and peaceful and nonviolent. That's Tom making you nonviolent. It's like when you go to the dentist and the man is going to take your tooth. You're going to fight him when he starts pulling. So they squirt some stuff in your jaw called Novocaine to make you think they're not doing anything to you. So you sit there and because you got all that Novocaine in your jaw, you suffer peacefully. Blood running all down your jaw. And you don't know what's happening. Because someone has taught you to suffer peacefully. The white man do the same thing to you in the street. When he don't want to put knots on your head and take advantage of you and don't have to be afraid of you fighting back. To keep you from fighting back, he get these old religious Uncle Toms to teach you and me. They're just like Novocaine, suffer peacefully. Don't stop suffering, just suffer peacefully. As Reverend Cleve pointed out, let your blood flow in the streets. This is a shame. And you know he's a Christian preacher. If it's a shame to him, you know what it is to me. Because nothing in our book, the Quran, as you call it, Koran, teaches us to suffer peacefully. Our religion teaches us to be intelligent, be peaceful, be courteous, obey the law, respect everyone. But if someone puts his hand on you, send him to the cemetery. That's a good religion. In fact, that's that old-time religion. That's the one that Ma and Pa used to talk about. An eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth, and a head for a head, and a life for a life. That's a good religion. And then anybody, no one resents that kind of religion being taught but a wolf who intends to make you his meal. This is the way it is with the white man in America. He's a wolf, and you're a sheep. Anytime a shepherd, a pastor, teach you and me not to run from the white man, and at the same time teach us don't fight the white man, he's a traitor to you and me. Don't lay down our life all by itself. No. Preserve your life. It's the best thing you got. And if you got to give it up, let it be even Stephen. The slave master took Tom and dressed him well and fed him well and even gave him a little education. Gave him a long coat and a top hat and made all the other slaves look up to him. Then he used Tom to control them. The same strategy that was used in those days is used today by the same white man. He take a Negro, so-called Negro, and make him prominent. Build him up, publicize him, make him a celebrity, and then he becomes a spokesman for Negro.
Malcolm X's metaphor of the house Negro and the field Negro is a critical examination of the social dynamics during slavery, using these terms to critique black leadership and class divisions within the black community. The house Negro was the enslaved individual who worked closely with the master, living in better conditions and often developing a psychological affinity for the master. Malcolm X argued that this house Negro was loyal to the master, even identifying with his interest. In his words, when the master got sick, the house Negro would say, "What's the matter, boss? We sick?" However, Malcolm X proposed that the field Negro mentality was fundamentally different. The field Negro saw his salvation in freedom, not in the comfort of his oppressor's house. Malcolm warned that black people needed to wake up to this reality and align themselves with the spirit of resistance rather than surrender. Malcolm extended this metaphor to the present, suggesting that some black leaders were acting like house Negroes, aligning themselves with the white power structures and pacifying the masses. In contrast, he saw the grassroots, particularly the working class black population, as field Negroes who were ready to rebel for true freedom by any means necessary. Malcolm X sharply criticized the nonviolent philosophy championed by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and other civil rights leaders. He argued that nonviolence was a tool used to pacify black people and keep them from fighting for their true liberation. In his view, the white power structure supported and celebrated nonviolence because it posed no real threat to their system of oppression. Malcolm claimed that in the context of American racism and brutality, particularly against black people, it was irrational to preach nonviolence. You don't have a peaceful revolution, Malcolm declared. You don't have a turn the other cheek revolution. For Malcolm, nonviolence was tantamount to submission, and it ignored the legitimate anger and desire for justice that black people felt centuries of systematic exploitation and abuse. He advocated for self-defense and a willingness to use violence if necessary to achieve true freedom. Malcolm X saw no contradiction in defending oneself against the violence of a racist system, especially in a country where, historically, violence had been used to suppress black people. In Message to the Grassroots, Malcolm X's call for black solidarity and revolution challenged the mainstream civil rights movement's tactics. His house Negro versus field Negro analogy served to critique the ideological divisions within the black community, calling on people to reject the mindset of subservience and embrace a revolutionary spirit. His rejection of nonviolence positioned him as a key figure in the broader black power movement, advocating for real liberation rather than peaceful coexistence under a racist system.